Imagine being a young journalist, freelancing and juggling jobs, and suddenly British intelligence visits you because in your email you received the NATO invasion plans of Yugoslavia. This is not a Hollywood script or a movie. This is exactly what happened to Matt Potter in 2000, and he has since reported from around the world. Now he's out with a book expanding on his reporting on cyber warfare called We Are All Targets. Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Very excited to be here.
You start off by describing this dramatic scene. What was going through your head when intelligence agents just show up at your door?
I mean, it was like most of these things. It was both scary and funny at the same time. You know, there is an element of there's no upper limit to the trouble you could be in when MI5 call at the reception to your workplace, and you know the receptionist talking to her afterwards was sort of like, "Certainly, sir. Can I ask what it's regarding?" It's regarding national security and a matter of the greatest importance. I'll just buzz you up. You know, so there's elements of that. It was just very ectopic. Having said that, I couldn't quite believe, it was a bit of a Chief Wiggum moment, you know, from Homer Simpson. I couldn't quite believe while I was talking to them that I knew that I'd received these documents because a Trojan virus had gone into NATO's computers and splattered them around the web. I knew that. I couldn't quite believe that they didn't. And that was the most worrying part of all of it. I was standing there talking to them, and I was saying, "You don't understand. This is a virus that's done it." And they were like, "We understand all this techie stuff you're talking about, but we're looking for a spy, sir." That was where it hit home, that there was a huge gap between what the intelligence services knew and what they needed to know.
And you detail how the Kosovo War was one of the first cyber wars. What impact did this virtual war have on the actual war on the ground?
Oh, well, that's really topical because we're seeing that with Ukraine as well right now. So the interesting thing is that cyber war itself, a lot of times people, and this is the way it played out in Kosovo, a lot of times it wouldn't do the same thing as, of course, as a bomb or a bullet or a trench will do. What it will do is it will distract, it will bleed resources, it will make your targets realize they've been hacked or realize you've been in there. Suddenly they don't know what communications out to the field are secure. Suddenly they have to stop. So actually it's a huge drain on resources. That's the key thing. And that's the remorseless logic of it. For every incursion, for every time they, you know, a great big stunt happened, like they made the White House disappear from the global internet for 24 hours. Now, the White House website, it doesn't matter. It's not strategically important to whether or not there's a bomber in the air. What does matter is suddenly you're worried about the fact that the White House website has gone down very visibly. What have they been inside? What do they know?
You write in the book, the American military was not prepared for the new form of cyber war. This was total war, and nobody had a clue how to see it, define it, or address it, let alone fight it. The U.S. eventually started fighting back, and you write in the book that they even considered shutting down Yugoslavia's internet. How did the U.S. fight this new form of warfare?
Badly. I mean, I think the US, and this is not to say that, you know, the US, that it was the same with Britain, it's been the same with Europe. It's been the same, honestly, with Western authorities and military and authorities and intelligence services the world over. The problem is that by the time you get to any position of decision-making importance in militaries, and I realise there will be exceptions, but at that point there weren't that many exceptions, or in government, or inside any of the big institutions, you are thinking in top-down terms. You're quite rigid, probably. You're maybe not quite as in touch with the other as you should be. And unfortunately, there is a type. And the thinking of that type constrained them. It meant that they were quite directional, that they couldn't quite conceive of the idea that people might not be operating to command. Who's making this happen? Why don't we tell them to stop? Why don't we bomb them? No, that's not the way it's happening. It's less like, and there was a great phrase that people have kept using, digital Pearl Harbor. Do we need to be afraid of the digital Pearl Harbor? No, we do not. We need to be afraid of the digital plague. We need to be afraid of distributed, faceless, non-spectacular things that are bubbling up all around us in virus form.
Matt Potter, you are just such a source of knowledge. We thank you so much for your time. We Are All Targets is now available wherever books are sold.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.